Hey guys, Justin here. I hit a major milestone recently, and that was getting 7,000 iRating on oval side of iRacing. So today, I'm going to talk about what having 7,000 iRating means, what it doesn't mean, and some tips that I found along the way of how to maximize your iRating and why you might not even want to go after that. So first, a quick bit of context. These are my stats. I did mostly rookie racing and like pickup cup racing from 2016 up until 2018. And then in 2018, I decided to run the truck series, and I got kind of frustrated with that. So I ended up quitting for like half a year or so. Then I came back and decided that I wanted to learn how to manage tires better, and I wanted less cautions in racing. So what do? ARCA racing. And that's kind of what I've been at since. So in the past 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, I have ran maybe 75% ARCA races. And this wasn't necessarily to gain iRating, but this in turn led to me getting consistent iRating once I got better and better at that specific car. So first, a thing that I like to preach a lot, one way or the other in different videos, is that iRating does not necessarily mean skill. I think that there's a correlation, but I think that the metric itself is just too inconsistent with how people experience the game to measure skill on a very precise level. And summarizing a previous video I did on the topic, I think that iRating disproportionately rewards the amount of races that you run, the amount of races that you run in a specific series, so specialization, and then also what your competition is like at when you race. So the ARCA series at the high levels actually checks off all these boxes. Once I became good in the ARCA car, I got consistent finishes because there are no cautions, and lap traffic and that sort of stuff really isn't that much of a problem in top splits. And then on top of that, I was running basically just that series over and over again, which specialized me in a sense and allowed for that iRating to grow even if I wasn't necessarily even going after it. This is really common on the road side. You see a lot of the guys with like 9,000 and 10,000 iRating really specializing in a certain type of car, series, or whatever. On the oval side of things, though, the most popular series are the trucks, the Xfinity, the Cup car, and sometimes the ARCA car. But with the first three, what happens is that there's a lot of cautions and there's a lot of natural variance in those races because there's going to be different pit strategies. There's going to be wrecks that nobody can control that take out the leaders more often. That stuff just happens more often in races with cautions than without cautions. So if somebody comes and asks me how to raise their iRating, I literally say, I will tell you how to raise your iRating, but it doesn't mean you'll get any better. Because all it means is you avoid tracks that you don't like, you avoid series with high variance, and you just run what you are good at over and over again. And that's it. And is that fulfilling? Is that a good way to race? It doesn't really matter, I don't think, because at the end of the day, it's a game. But if you have goals like going pro, for instance, then I don't think that's a very helpful thing to do at all, even if it is raising your iRating. And speaking of that, I've been asked many times before, oh, when am I going pro? And the answer to that is I am not good enough and I don't have the time commitment ready for it yet. One thing to note about iRating and Coke Series people and all that is that even though I may have an iRating that's higher than some people in Coke Series, I 100% would get smacked by any of them and anything that isn't ARCA. And even in ARCA, I think I lose to like 2/3 of them. I'm not even kidding. It's just a lot of people that have the lower iRatings in the pro side of things do races that have a lot more variance in their finishing positions, which leads to naturally less iRatings. But that doesn't mean that their skill is any less than people who aren't in the Coke Series, because the people who make it deserve to be there 100%. Currently, on average, I think I spend between 5 and 10 hours a week on iRacing driving, and I think that I spend even more time these days making videos. So you can see where the problem lies, where I just don't have the time commitment, and I don't even think that's enough time to get myself to pro level. Even if I was fully committed, no more YouTube, I'm going to make the Coke Series. In my head, I think I need closer to literally 40 hours a week to raise my level to build my skill set that fits these road to pro races. But then comes another issue too. I really face heavy burnout with iRacing. I have raced at Auto Club 8 times in preparation for trying to make Top Split Road to Pro for Daytona, just because I think it would be funny to make the broadcast split. That's why I reached 7,000 iRating in the first place. But between 8 races over 3 days, I am burnt out. And that's crazy to say because I used to be able to do a decent amount of races and not feel that, but I think it's just building expectations on myself become just a little bit too heavy, so to speak. And I know that it's something that I should try to work on, and I am working on it, but it's just something that I struggle with in terms of time commitment as well with iRacing. So while I always recommend race as much as you can, race more, practice less, race more, I think the answer more lies in race while it's still fun. I think that it's easier to pick up on things and it's easier to learn and it's easier to have an open mind when you are having fun. And when you are not having fun and trying to do all those things, it's almost like there's a mental barrier between that and it almost just doesn't even become effective at all. Another thing that goes along with this is practicing intentionally. So when I talked to the Coke Series drivers about how they prepared for races, they all said, oh, we practice for however many hours a day, and there was a wide range of things. But what was the same between all of them was they had a plan for each of their practices. They said, we're going to run 30 lappers, or we're going to practice qualifying the day before, or whatever. But they had a goal each time they practiced. Another thing is using resources. One of the big things that got me to make that jump from just a 3000 iRating level driver, which I believe I kind of just got to on my own, to get any higher than that, I needed to use resources, and my choice of resources back then were Twitch streams. I used to watch a ton of Derek Justice, and I still do, to learn things, and then other streamers like JustinBo20, and a lot of those higher level streamer guys really gave me some ideas that I absorbed without really even knowing it, just by watching them race over and over again. And circling back to the topic of why I don't think I'll ever make a serious attempt to go pro in iRacing, I have had a huge shift in goals with iRacing in the past year, and it's because of this YouTube channel, of course. I have personally found more fulfillment, I guess you could say, more satisfaction with making these videos, connecting with the community, building a community, and just seeing the reception of helping people in iRacing, and also even entertaining people sometimes. So whatever happens, happens, I guess. If I get that good on my own, just making YouTube videos and doing whatever I need to with that, then that's great. But I don't think I'm going to spend much time intentionally trying to become a pro driver, which seems to contradict with how my iRating has gotten to this point, but that just kind of shows how sometimes the full story is not told by a 4-digit number. And finally, I just want to thank you all. I don't think I would be racing iRacing personally nearly as much as I have been without this YouTube channel and without the community that's built around this channel, the Arca Farm. I think that it's just awesome what's going on, and I'm really appreciative to you all. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all on the track.